lesson is let me remember I'm one with God. All right, right at the end of paragraph 4, the last sentence in paragraph 4, lesson 124. Today we see only the loving and the lovable. We see it in appearances of pain, and pain gives way to peace. We see it in the frantic, in the sad, and the distressed, the lonely and afraid, who are restored to the tranquility and peace of mind in which they were created. And we see it in the dying and the dead as well, restoring them to life. All this we see because we saw it first within ourselves. All this we see. In other words, we see past the 2 + 2 = 4 world, the world of pain and suffering and death, anger, cruelty. We look past all that to the 2 + 2 = 5 world that sees every thought of the ego as a call for help. You know, the Course says of the judgment of the Holy Spirit, he sees only calls for love or expressions of love. So when he's your teacher, when Jesus' love is your comforting presence and guide, you will not see pain and anger and cruelty and torture and death. You look beyond it to the call for help that says, please show me I'm wrong. Please show me I made a mistake in choosing my ego. Please show me there's another choice I can make. By your comforting, defenseless, loving presence, you will show me there's another thought system I could choose. That's all this will you see because you saw it first within yourselves. In this sense, this is the right-minded making it about you. Not about your needs being met, but about you choosing the right teacher. And once you choose the right teacher, it is impossible not to let that comforting presence of love extend through you and embrace everyone, to reach out and you touch their fear with your loving, comforting fingers. Just go out and you touch it and the fear is gone. And you do that in whatever form is helpful, and you don't judge the form. But you don't interfere with that loving flow from within. There's a line early on in the text that says, all thinking produces form on some level. All right-minded thinking, all experiences of your forgiveness of yourself produces form on some level. It would automatically take whatever shape is the most helpful. Your job is just to get your ego out of the way, which means to get your investment in guilt out of the way, which means you must first recognize your investment in guilt. That's what the miracle does. That's why this is called a course in miracles and not a course in love, not a course in truth, not a course in God. A course in miracles, because the miracle is the course's name for the process of going from your mindless body to your mind so you could choose again. Remember the line, the miracle looks on devastation and reminds the mind that what it sees is false. You look on the devastation you've made of your relationships. Look at the way you've attacked and you've judged and you accuse people of treating you unfairly. Look at that and realize that was just a mistake. What you're seeing is false. And it came from your fear of love. Fear is not to be punished. Fear is to be loved and comforted and thereby undone. That's what remorse means. I look at what I've done outside. I see it as a mirror of what I've done inside. The devastation outside is a mirror of the devastation I've chosen inside. And I first say and mean I'm sorry to myself. Only then can I truly say I'm sorry to other people. And then it won't be difficult. There won't be any resistance. It'll just flow. The words, the behaviors will just flow out of you. Because you have made it about them, not about your needs. You've made it about them. You hear their call for love. The appearances of pain, the frantic, the sad, the distressed, the lonely, and the afraid, which also would include people who do vicious, cruel things. If you just think for a moment, no one in the presence of that love could ever hurt anyone. You just couldn't. So if someone hurts someone, and wants to hurt someone, they can't be in the presence of love. So what do you want to do as a loving brother or sister? You want to demonstrate that love to them. Because their anger, their viciousness, their cruelty has come from their believing they attacked love. They abandoned love. They may seek to project and say love abandoned them, and that's why that they're angry, and they justify their anger. But deep down, they accuse themselves of having abandoned love. And so you now want to be a manifestation of that love. In the clarification terms, near the end of the section of the Holy Spirit, talking about Jesus, it says, your brother asked you to become his manifestation. Just as the Course says Jesus is the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, now we want to become that manifestation. And when we choose not to, that's where our guilt is lodged. And that's what needs forgiveness. What I'd like to do as a close is read two poems. They both deal with this theme of forgiving ourselves. And the point of these poems is to really emphasize that to really be remorseful means we have to recognize our investment in holding on to guilt and then blaming other people for it. It all begins with us. That's, again, the right-minded sense of making it about us. Okay, the first poem is not by Helen, and it's called My Forgiveness. Forgive me, Lord, if when I felt afraid, I failed to speak the words I know you gave to me to bring to those whose fear I share. Forgive my trembling tongue that would but halt the flow of love in you that ends all doubt and heals all sickness, suffering, and pain. I ask forgiveness, Lord, though it is true you said that there is nothing to forgive. Your loving words of comfort and of peace are proof to me that Christ in innocence remains united in his Father's love, the innocence that lives as him in me. You ask, my Lord, that I forgive myself, for it is in the veil of guilt your words are trapped and cannot be expressed as you would have them be. And you ask, my Lord, that I be but myself, that all God's sons can see your face in me and hear your voice in mine. So that poem should be everyone's prayer, that we recognize when we're angry, when we're critical, when we're indulging our needs at someone else's expense, that what we're really doing is failing to embrace Jesus' love and letting that love extend through us and then embrace all people and literally become his messenger and his manifestation in the world. And that's what we have to forgive ourselves for, because we can't forgive anyone else unless we first forgive ourselves. The second poem is one of Helen's poems. He asks but this. And it basically makes the same plea, that we cannot be an ambassador of love unless we first choose that love for ourselves. And we can't choose it for ourselves unless we first choose against the desire not to be with that love. Right? And that's the ultimate message of this poem. He asks but this. My tiny empire is no fitting gift for God's most holy Son. His Father gives him infinite dominion, an estate unlimited, extending outward to embrace the universe. My world contracts to nothingness, where thoughtless images dance wearily an instant and are gone. And what can I offer him, who came to save me from the world I made, except himself? For there remains within me still one gift that yet is worthy to be given him. Let me forgive myself, for that is all he asks and needs. And he will take this gift and bring it to his Father from himself. Okay, we're done. Thank you all for coming.